Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to New Zealand's press conference with head coach Ian Foster and captain and player of the match tonight, Ardie Savea. Ian, would you like to make a few comments off the top?
Firstly, I didn't know he was player of the match, so well done, Ardie. Congratulations. Really satisfied, really good performance. We've had a big build-up. It felt a little bit strange having the gap after the Namibia game. Did a lot of hard work, and this was a game we really prepared well for. And the World Cup's full of games that there's a bit of an edge to, and we certainly had an edge to that performance. So really proud of it. Also want to take a chance to make special mention of Samuel Lawrence Whitelock, and breaking the record, pretty special. He's been a great warrior for this team and still is, and to have that appearance record is something that I know him and his family will be very proud of, so as are we. So just wanted to make mention of that up front.
Thanks, Ian. If we could take the first question here in the front row, and the second one will be at the back on the left.
Ian, today's newspaper was the same as yesterday's.
The newspaper?
Today's newspaper was the same as yesterday.
Yeah, generally is. Sometimes you guys lose a bit of imagination with some of your headlines, I think. But look, we have a lot of respect for Italy, like I said before the game, and I didn't see that game coming to that extent. I'm not sure too many people did, but it was probably a combination of us playing really, really well and starting well, and I think we took their hope away in that first 20 minutes, and maybe they started to think a little bit about, well, they've got another bullet to fire next week against France, and if they beat France, they knock France out of the competition if we beat Uruguay. So there's a few do-or-die games all over the place.
Ian, was that the sort of statement performance you've been looking for from this group, do you think?
Well, it's a performance we wanted this week. That's all I'm going to call it. I think people create a lot of panic and about your chances and all that sort of stuff, and particularly after we lost the first one. But like I said at the time, it didn't change that the critical game for us in this pool was always going to be Italy. And we had to play well in this game, and there was enough evidence to show that if we didn't play well and they performed the way they have been performing this year, that it was going to be a heck of a tough game. Now, we were good enough to take that away from them, and so we were very satisfied with that. Now we've got to do the same next week, because the same applies, isn't it? You do your maths, and next week's also equally important, but it certainly means that we've put ourselves in control of our own destiny, and that's where we want to be. Put some pressure on some other teams who, I guess, still got some tough games coming up. You even look at the likes of Ireland. If Scotland win 2 games, then Ireland can miss out. So it's a tough World Cup.
Ardie, from a playing group perspective, how pleasing was that performance? From a playing group perspective.
Yeah, very proud of the lads and the effort. I guess we put on a lot of mahi in the bye week and a lot of mahi this week, and really prepping ourselves for Italy, and to go out there and be able to play freely like we did and put some points on the board. Just stoked for the lads to be able to jam like that. So it's very pleasing.
Thanks, Ardie. We'll go 1 here, 2 in the middle, and 3 at the back.
Hi, Ardie. Dalton spoke, I think it was this week or last week, that South Africa and Ireland set the standard of this World Cup in their game. Do you feel that you guys, on that performance today, have met that standard or even surpassed it? I'm
not too sure, to be honest. I know we we had structures in place to, get our forwards in the game and some plays to get our forwards in the game, and I thought we nailed a few of those. So, and like Foz said, in the first 20 minutes we got into our work, the forward pack, and let our backs finish the stuff. So I'm not too sure around, if we equaled this then or we took it out or whatever, but I'm just happy that we were able to nail our set piece and give the backs some ball to play with.
Ardie, I'm not so acquainted with Haka culture and meaning, but just wanted to ask you what was the reasoning behind the choice of performing Kamate instead of Kapaopango that you chose against Namibia?
Yeah, Aaron Smith, Nug, he's Haka, and he made the call to do the kamate around respecting our Māori battalion that fought, I think in Italy?
Yeah, Monte Cassino.
Monte Cassino, and we just wanted to honour them and pay respects. That's the reasoning around our kamate.
Right at the back.
Hey, Ian, can you just talk about the man to your left and his performance tonight? I know you said when we got player of the match, but a couple of tries, a couple of try assists.
Yeah, no, he went pretty good. And that's kind of what I expect out of him, to be fair. But look, he's a special man. He leads the team well, and you know it's and the boys follow him, so you can't ask for much more. So, and again, I know that. Look, when we can give Artie a platform to play, and when we can get him going forward, and he can get that linking game and that carry game going, then that's his element. So delighted for him.
And just on the discipline, I think first game in 3 or 4 where you haven't conceded a card, but also the penalty count went your way as well tonight. How pleasing is that to tick that box?
Yeah, it was a big focus. I'll probably use the word accuracy a little bit more than discipline. You know, I think it's a matter of being accurate in your technique and stuff that you do nowadays. And I thought we were really good in the first half. I thought we were poor for 10 minutes after half time, which was frustrating. And that let Italy back into the game, you know, from a playing momentum side, perhaps not on the scoreboard, but and then I thought we settled down and went and finished the game strong in that aspect. So, you know, it wasn't perfect, but it was a big step forward.
Just in the middle there. Yep. And then second one will be here in the front.
Hey, Ian, Sheree here from the New Zealand Herald.
Sheree.
Speaking of headlines before, I saw a few on this side of the world saying this week that the All Blacks had lost their aura. Do you feel like a performance like tonight proves that you haven't?
Oh, I don't know. I'll leave that to the people who write the headlines. Like we just got to take the challenges in front of us. Like I said, it's you know, the World Cup sort of felt strange sitting on the sidelines for the last 2 weeks while things were happening, and seemed the longer that we weren't playing, the worse we got, if you read the media. But funny enough, we kind of believe in what we're doing.
When your team scores 96 points, it's hard to say your team was challenged or tested. Probably the same going to be in the next game, so you kind of enter the playoffs without really being tested after France. Do you know where your team is in relevance to what the standards that were mentioned before?
Yeah, a good question. In rugby, you got to deal with the challenges that you've got, and the trouble is if you win with a big scoreline, people think there's no value in it. Well, the value was been massive for us because we put ourselves under pressure the last 10 days for that performance. We knew we had to, and we didn't want to give Italy a chance, and we respected them enough to know that we had to be in the house. So what we've learned is that if we're really focused on our preparation and we get it right and we figure out the challenge in front of us, that we can play good rugby. Now, you know, it's you look at the South African and Ireland game, and it was a very different game of rugby. You know, the ball and play was there for 27 minutes and in the whole game. So very stop-start game, very physical, very combative, whereas you saw a different spectacle tonight. And probably at some point the world's got to decide which game they'd rather watch.
Yeah, back here. And then number 2 on the left.
Ari, you said in the past days you expected a very tough and physical battle, but it didn't look like that from the stands. And some tries they said they considered were very soft. Did you have that feeling on the pitch?
Against Italy, just tonight. Look, we throughout the week we do our analysis, and we always try and find opportunities and areas to attack. And some of the moves that we put in place, we nailed it, and we scored a few tries off it. So whether or not you can say it was easy or not, we had a plan and we executed it.
Okay, 1 and then 2 and 3. And that'll be all we have time for.
Ian, did it annoy you that people were not talking about the All Blacks and that words like Ireland would prefer to play you than France? Did that, I know earlier in the week you didn't want to answer that, but it seems like it got under your skin.
No, not at all. Actually, I've got no preference about who we play, and those questions early in the pool play don't really mean a lot because there's a lot of things that can still happen. You know, we don't spend any time thinking about what might happen in 2 or 3 weeks, and I know that's a boring answer, but that's the truth. You know, and like I said, well, what happens if Scotland go out and play 2 great games and either Ireland or South Africa are not there? So we don't pin our hopes on wanting something. We just want to take a week at a time, do our job, and then we'll find out who it is. And we know that you just got to look at the draw to know this is the quarterfinals are going to be huge, aren't they? First we want to get there, and then we'll worry about who's there.
Thank you. Right in the middle, yeah.
Ian, you obviously scored some great tries tonight, but Artie touched on it a little bit with the forward pack. Just a set piece, won 6 scrums of theirs, 5 line-outs. How do you go about maintaining that platform that allows you to play how you did?
Well, look, you don't get numbers like that in many Test matches, do you? So you know, you just enjoy them when they're there. And obviously, we got some things right, but you just got to go back and rebuild from zero, you know. And it's you know, we've got some great lessons in this pool where, you know, France played well and beat us in round 1 and then really struggled to beat Uruguay in round 2. So we've got a clear recipe for what we need to do the next week. But yet we don't go in trying to have expectations that we're just going to start where we finished off today. You just got to build your way back into that and get your processes right. And we got that right. We also got some pretty important people back playing, which was big for us. I think, you know, we haven't mentioned the likes of Shannon. I thought Shannon showed, you know, his importance and how he went about his work. I thought Geordie was the same, and I thought particularly Tyrell, when he came on, you know, he just finished off that scrum really, really well. So there's some nice signs that we're building a little bit of momentum in that space.
Just on those injured guys in the squad, did everyone emerge unscathed? Any injuries?
Yep.
Great, and the final question is just here. Thank you.
Ian, often when a team racks up a big score in the first half and then you roll on a few subs in the second, the team can lose a little bit of structure or composure.
Just here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
How pleasing was it for you today that when you did bring on those subs, sort of the structure remained and the points kept coming?
Yeah, really pleasing. Didn't sort of feel like that in the first 10 minutes after half-time, did it? You know, I thought we got loose. We made a couple of bad defensive reads. We gave up 3 penalties, and it kind of. But then I liked the fact we regained our composure a little bit and stuck to just doing what the moment presented in front of us. And so, and the fact that the guys who came off the bench just kept in that mode was very satisfying. Actually, you know, it would have been easy to knock off a little bit.
Okay, Ian, Artie, thank you very much. The mix zone will be open in the next few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just one